here is the tough questioning that Bret Baier is famous for. Now, and do I think like this is an effective ad campaign? I don't know. Maybe it would impact normies. I doubt it on some level. I think, frankly, the legal cases against Trump are going to be the ones that impact if there's any sort of Republican voter who is going to stay home. Who knows? Maybe it just reminds people of just like how much scandal and how much turmoil Trump creates. But here's Bret Baier going through the
rhinos that are all against me.
All of the Lincoln Project types.
In 2016, you said that. I'm going to surround myself with only the best and most serious people.
Well, I did do that.
This
and we
time,
had tremendous, look, we had the best economy we've ever had. The world has ever seen.
Your Vice President, Mike Pence, is running against you.
Yeah.
Your Ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, she's running against you. Your former Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, said he's not supporting you. You mentioned National Security Advisor John Bolton. He's not supporting you either. You mentioned Attorney General Bill Barr, says you shouldn't be president again. Calls you the consummate narcissist and troubled man. You recently called Barr a gutless pig. Your second defense secretary is not supporting you, called you irresponsible. This week, you and your White House called your White House Chief of Staff, John Kelly, weak and ineffective and born with a very small brain. You called your acting White House Chief of Staff, Mick Mulvaney, a born loser. You called your first Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, dumb as a rock. And your first Defense Secretary, James Mattis, the world's most overrated general. You called your White House Press Secretary, Kayleigh Canadian milquetoast, and multiple times you've referred to your Transportation Secretary, Elaine Chao, as Mitch McConnell's China-loving wife.
Subtle.
So, why did you hire all of them in the first place?
Pause it for 1 second. You know what? I just, as we go through that list, I'm not sure about saying Mitch McConnell's China-loving wife. Like, I'm not sure on, I don't know Elaine Chao's policies enough to, and I don't think Kayleigh McEnany, the first thing I would say is milquetoast, as much as I would say, like, bat crap crazy.
Well, Bret
but
Baier's
all of
new
the
colleague.
other critiques, I think were fair.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said this is not a good ad.
John Kelly, horrible human being, frankly. Mick Mulvaney, yes, idiot. Rex Tillerson, not that bright for a guy who ran Exxon. All of like Pence and Pompeo and Nikki Haley, they're horrible people.
Yeah, bad.
They're theocrats. Mattis. Yeah, like, why do we even have a general in there? What did he do? I mean, I all of the critiques that Trump made, I think I like to think I would have made more sophisticated ones, but
Also, you wouldn't have hired those people in the
and
first
the
place.
China-loving white
Exactly.
part is just like that's just casual racism because she's Chinese American and like I mean the audience is gonna love that crap. It's a cult of personality, and he's elevating himself as above all of this other riffraff, and Bret Baier is making that case.
I mean, again, this is just like this is porn. For folks who would vote against Trump anyways, but I'm not sure that it's as moving as people seem to think it is. But let's go back. I mean, it's funny.
It's hilarious.
But let's go back.
Tillerson, dumb as a rock, and your first Defense Secretary, James Mattis, the world's most overrated general. You called your White House Press Secretary, Kayleigh Canadian milquetoast, and multiple times you've referred to your Transportation Secretary, Elaine Chao, as Mitch McConnell's China-loving wife. So, why did you hire all of them in the first place?
Because I hired 10 to 1 that were fantastic. We had a great economy. We had phenomenal people in charge of the economy. We had phenomenal people in the military. I'm not a fan of Milley, and I'm not a fan of certain of the television people. But I knocked out ISIS. I defeated ISIS. They said, Mattis,
I defeated ISIS.
It would take 3 years, and I don't think we can do it. I did it in a period of like 4 weeks.
There's a lot of people who praise you for your policies. I just said that.
That's true. Well, I mean, you just went through a list. But don't forget, for everyone you say, I had 10 that love us. And one thing happens, I find, with...
I mean, did Trump, is that the longest Trump has listened to anybody without interrupting them? And why doesn't he interrupt in that situation? Because he's like, everything you're saying is true. Go on, go on. I mean...
Exactly.
He thinks it's good for him, and it probably is, to be honest. Like,
I'm the top dog.
I mean, in 2016, there was a moment where Fox News, at least like Megyn Kelly, decided I'm going to go hard at this guy, and it had no effect.
Well, that was because she was having women's time.
I know, she was bleeding out of it everywhere. But why would we think that this would be any different? I mean, you know, this is not going to move the Republican voter that already loves Trump. It's just not.
They're going to come around too. I mean, that's if he doesn't go to jail and he's the nominee, they're coming around. Trust me on that.
Sure thing.